Hey everybody, welcome back. It's DJ aka 5 Guitars Guy. It's the Jam in Progress Series week, so let's get into it. This time I actually managed to do some practicing. So first up, technique. Alright, so for technique, just to mix things up a bit, and I don't know, it might be to my benefit, I just went straight up to increasing the BPMs on the metronome so I can get used to playing that. And it also gave me a chance to examine my form, and I can go into detail on that after I show you what it sounds like so far. Yeah, so on that one, I didn't completely mess it up, but I did notice that on the slower tempo, oddly enough, I had trouble keeping the tempo correct. I was actually rushing ahead of it. So 120, I felt like I was kind of getting ahead of the metronome, or 130, I felt like a little more locked in. So I guess I got to make sure I work on not getting so anxious and trying to rush to get there, and making sure I can actually slow down a bit, which might explain why phase two on my covers is and probably will continue to take forever, because I got to get used to being able to understand it at that tempo and then build it up. And then figure the other thing that still comes up is one thing first is still got to work on the pinky thing. As I've said a bunch of times, I can't move my pinky on this hand without moving my ring finger. So if my ring finger is one way, it kind of limits where my pinky can go, and it can mess with my ability to properly play a note. So I got to put buying a left-handed guitar on my to-do list, because this one can move just fine. So yeah, I gotta go find a cheap one. I think I can run over to the local guitar shop and see what they have, because usually everybody has at least one or two. But anyway, yeah. So main thing is making sure I can. I figure I'm going to do what I can to exercise his pinky, give it a little more independence, so that way I can play either way. But yeah, I figured trying to learn left-handed might do me some good. And the other thing is my downstrokes versus my upstrokes are still a pretty decent gap there because I'm trying to figure that. After I figure that exactly out, I got to spend apparently I got to devote a lot more time to playing my upstrokes because some of those just sounded bad, and it's funny as some of them seemed like I missed completely, which kind of threw off my strumming. So instead of just doing up, down, up, down, up, down, I go uh, down, up, down, miss, and then down, up, down, and then I end up finishing up on a downstroke. I'm supposed to finish on an upstroke, and it's just weird. So got to do a whole lot of repetition there. Yeah, I figure another thing to consider as far as what might be affecting my upstroke or my downstroke is where I'm holding the pick. Because I think as I'm holding it right now, it's about this much room for me to hit the strings. Might be a lot because I've looked at a few other people and I think it's closer to here, maybe even less. So I don't know. I'll give it a try, see what I can do with that. But yeah, I guess I'm hitting that point where I got to think about all the little things, and there might be even more fine motor skill stuff required further down the road once I handle this. But it is interesting, so I figure I'll do that. Maybe next time around I'll bump up to 140 or 150 just to see what insight I gain from that. But that's it for technique. Next up, guitar theory. Okay, so for guitar theory, first things first, I'm still on the C part of the caged method because I'm still trying to understand exactly what it means. So first, the first two parts are where I'm using the C C chord as a movable bar chord, as I mentioned before. So first, the regular C chord. So yeah, simple enough. I've done that 1,000 times, and then just move the shape over. For example. Needs a little bit of work, but you get the point. Same general shape, just moved up the fretboard. And then there's also the C form arpeggio pattern, which is this. Now, those two things by themselves, fairly easy enough to figure out. I just have to make sure to get my fingers to do the right thing. Pretty much what I've been trying to figure out this whole time is just trying to figure out exactly how this leads to other things. Like I know the whole point of the cage method from, let's say, the rhythm perspective is I'm supposed to do this for all five, as far as learning, different chord patterns and then how I put them together. And then as far as the arpeggio pattern, that'd be good for scales, which should help with soloing and such. That general part I understand is just understanding it and seeing exactly how it's supposed to tie into other things, like how I'm supposed to put stuff together. So speaking of which, I also decided to pick another random chord. I think some videos back, I picked one, and then I decided I was going to pick one every time until I came up with 4 or 5 that I could just use to see how they go together. And I just remembered that, so I picked my second one. The first one I did was the C9, and then the next one I ended up randomly picking was the B minor sixth. Now, if it was just regular B and C, that could be anything, pretty much any scale or form that has 1, 2, or 4, 5. So I'll need another couple before I can try to go with any kind of scale like the Mixolydian scale and any of the other ones. But I figure if one's a ninth and one's a minor sixth, that might narrow it down a bit as soon as I figure that one out. Speaking of, here's what they sound like so far. The B minor 6 is kind of weird because I've been trying to look it up all over the place, and exact for that exact fingering as it shows there, I'm not sure which ones get played. I've just been doing the 3, but could be 4 or 5. They all sound kind of decent. Yeah, I think that just the 3 sounds about right, but could be anything. I figure it's kind of hard to say. I figure, trying to remember if it's a B, then usually that means the root note should be a B. So remember, this is G chord, and that's A. So yeah, it's probably one of the other ones above it, but for the life of me, I cannot remember. So I'll have to keep looking that one up. And then, yeah, next time around, I'll pick my next chord and I'll see what I narrow it down to, see if they go together. Like I know since one's a 9, one's a minor 6, this could be a dead end, and I'd have to actually consciously pick something else to go with it. But that's kind of the point. Test it out, see if they go together. If they don't, then I have a better understanding as to why, and then what I can pick next. So, wrap my head around guitar theory. Still going at a snail's pace, but moving at a pace now. So, yay. All right, next up, genre.
I used to have a job, but I got laid off. I used to have a wife, but she said she had enough. I used to have a car, but it got repossessed. It seemed the Lord had found someone he likes to test. I've lost all a man could lose, that's why I sing the blues.
Now, for all this ties into the blues, mainly it's just trying to tighten up what I've still been working on. I'm still using the 12-bar blues as a base. As far as fingering, I got to see what I can do about this pinky while I find a left-handed guitar, because the one you guys usually hear a lot is my favorite, but I also like using the other one. What I mean is, and then along with, I can just get it about right, but I figure my pinky's still going kind of flat, so if I end up having to play more notes, that could get in the way. And then for strumming, right now, since it's just 2 strings at a time, not much there. But I figure when I go back to using actual chords, I might have to mix it up and actually use alternate picking. For example. So I got to make sure both of those are good, and then I can also keep them good if I go up to higher tempos. I know I usually prefer this chill, laid back tempo for 12-bar blues, especially when it comes to Delta. But I figure there are going to be some songs where it could pick up, and I should make sure I can do that. As far as how guitar theory works into it, still trying to figure that one out. Like I said, I'm going to take a bunch of chords and put them together, but I'm going to see how I can put them together with regards to a bluesy type of feel, particularly Delta if I can swing it, but we'll see. So I'm just trying to figure out exactly how those go together. In the meantime, I made sure to try to review how these go. So, for example, whenever I play 12-bar blues with the open A string, that'd be A. This would be see, E, and then F sharp. Then going down, it'd be the open D, which make this A and B, and up here, open E, which would make this F sharp and G sharp. So kind of interesting. Just making sure I can see how that goes together. Who knows if the other one dead ends, I can just come back to this and see what I build from there. But yeah, so that's about how they're coming together. It's little fragments in my mind that I should be able to build to something else. But yeah, that's it for genre. Yeah, that's where jamming is. More than I had last time, and I'm really starting to get my mind thinking about it. So I should be able to see what I can pull from this. I figure, on the one hand, I want to hurry up and get something impressive going, but I gotta start from the ground up. So I figure making sure I can actually pay attention to those finer things with my technique and actually wrap my head around what guitar theory even means might take a while, but I'm sure if I pretty much spend enough time reading it and ask around a bit, I should be able to figure out what's going on there. So time will tell. But this is DJ, aka Five Guitars Guy. See you.